The story of Skadi and Eire. Thank you for joining me, friends. I've a story to tell about Skadi, a barbarian shaman of the First Order of the Tribunal. It's also a story about Eire, Skadi's adopted daughter. Eire had a very unusual childhood. Eire was born of the Tyrdahl and yet raised by a barbarian shaman in the frigid city of Hallers quite far to the north of Nerik. How did this come to pass, ye ask? Listen closely for I'm about to tell ye. I hope you enjoy me story. I canna help but wonder why. Why did the Tyrdahl invade Everquest? I'm so thankful they didn't make it into Hallers, but I still wonder why they even tried in the first place. Surely they don't want to live in such an inhospitable climate. It makes no sense to me, mused Skadi gazing over her steaming cup of tea at her good friend. Mary McGregor pondered, well you need to stop and think of what we are that they would find valuable. Maybe they weren't planning to live here. I'm thinking there is another resource we are that they find beneficial. I canna imagine what they might be. We're not exactly known for our gold mines, laughed Skadi. I have a theory on that, actually, replied Mary. I think they were looking to enslave our people. I have heard that if you journey to Nerik you will find folks of all races within their city walls. Then there's the evil influences that reach all the far corners of Narath. They seem intent to ruin the world, even out here in the frozen north. Look at all miracle after all. We're lucky the fool trapped himself where he is. Mary continued. Skadi shuddered at the thought of spending her days in a dark and dreary dungeon such as Nerik. Well, I'm glad our army turned back, though the casualties are been heavy. I've run out of the lamb's ear that I use for bandages and I might be needing more spider silks for dressings. As soon as the sun comes up I need to head out to do some gathering to replenish me stock. I'm running a bit low on valerian root too. I might dig deeper than usual for the root, but I know a place by the ruins where I can still find some. Skadi struggled as she pulled her woven gathering basket down from the shelf crammed with tools of her trade. I really appreciate your coming over to watch me Liam while I'm gone. It's such a chore when I drag him along on me gathering trips. He's just been fed and should sleep a few hours now. I'll try me best to be back in time for his next feeding. If he wakes while I'm gone just rock him a little and he should fall right back to sleep. He's such a good baby, said Skadi fondly as she kissed her sleeping son on the head and then headed out in search of her much-needed supplies. As the sun peeked over the mountains the first icy rays glittered across the brilliant white landscape of Everquest, nearly blinding Skadi. Bundled in her warm mammoth fur cape and boots, she was already trudging along through the winding trails making her way out to the frozen tundra. She knew of a place near the ruins that was somewhat protected from the fierce winds that swept across the vast white plains. It was here she knew she could find the soft, absorbent lamb's ear that she used for padding. She knew it would still be clinging to the dead branches that jutted up from under the snow, seemingly reaching toward the sun in defiance of the frigid onslaught. Here also she knew there was a patch of Eire hiding under the snowy blanket. She would dig up the roots to boil for a soothing tea to comfort the sick and wounded of her clan back in Hallers. As she was digging for the valerian root, Skadi kept thinking she heard a moan or a whimper. At first she just assumed it was the wind howling through the pillars of the ruins, and while it was an eerie, unnatural sound, she shrugged it off and kept digging. Finally, there was a piercing wail that was unmistakably that of a baby. A baby? Out here? How is it even alive? Thought Skadi, her mind racing, as she pushed aside branches to find a tiny blue infant wrapped in furs. Blue? I've seen skin turn blue before, she thought, but no, this one is not a discoloration brought on by the cold. This infant is a dark elf. Oh, you poor thing. Where is your mam? Just then an obviously wounded Tidal woman leaped from behind the ruins, dagger in hand, and attacked Skadi. Skadi, in spite of being the clan's shaman, was a well-tuned warrior herself in battle, and instinct took over. She easily overpowered the weaker woman, finally thrusting her spear into her ribs. Skadi stared in horror as she realized the dark elf that attacked her was the wee babe's mother. The Teardal woman was quietly moaning, clearly in immense pain. She stared into Skadi's eyes, knowing she was dying but fearful that Skadi would not only end her life but that of her infant too. Skadi could not understand what the woman was trying to say to her, for she did not speak her language, but her meaning was obvious. "Please spare my baby," she whispered as her spirit departed this world. Skadi, being raised by the clan, a self an orphan, did not have the heart to just leave the babe there to perish in the harsh elements. She felt a powerful kinship with the orphan babe. "Ye poor wee thing, your mam must have dragged ye along with the invading army. From the looks of her bags I'm guessing she was a healer. Must have been forced into service, baby or not. I'd expect no less from the vile Teardal." Feeling remorse for killing the babe's mam, Skadi scooped up the wee blue infant. She raised her to her breast, offering the squirming bundle warmth and nourishment while speaking to herself as well as the baby. "Now we are us a predicament, little one," Skadi murmured. For she knew full well that the clan would kill the baby she held in her arms the second they caught sight of her. "We are tar find a way tar keep yer hidden until I can figure out a way tar get yer accepted into the clan." "I don't know what your man called you, but I'm going to name you Eire." Eire is the clan name for snow. "That somehow seems fitting for a wee babe found in the snow," Skadi softly murmured to the infant. "I promise yer this wee one, I will protect yer and raise yer as me own alongside me own Liam. We'll find a way." And that, my friends, is the end of my story.